This is the Ciro Shock and Awe 2.0 Touring Master Kit. It comes with the LED engine beginner kit, also comes with the fork mounted illuminators, comes with two 12-inch extension, the light expansion kit, and also comes with two 22-inch wire extensions. So this is what comes in the Touring Master Kit. You can order these individually, but with everything that we're going to be doing on the Road Glide 3, this is what we're going with. Fork mounted illuminators. They come with the two lights here. And what's really nice is these are actually plastic covered for any of the weather or rain or moisture, anything that's getting to them. Everything is wrapped up really, really nicely. So you get the two lights, one for each side, and they are side dependent. So you need to make sure that the cable that's on the back goes towards the engine. Also comes with two Y adapters right there. Comes with a plethora of small zip ties to be able to zip tie the wires up to your brake cables or your brake lines that are running up to the head unit. Also comes with four bolts, washers and lock nuts. So if you look in the description here, which their instructions are absolutely awesome, but like literally they've got a picture. You put a washer on each side of the bracket of the light with the lock nut inside the fender. So I mean, these instructions are just unbelievable. They just, man, they knock it. That expansion kit comes with two 12-inch LED lights that run down. Normally on your touring models, this would be going down underneath your saddlebags. However, on the trike, we're going to be running it along the rear end underneath the framing of the back of the trike. Again, this comes with the two lights. It also comes with two 22-inch extensions and two Y connectors as well. Again, instructions are phenomenal. Like for your touring models, literally, I mean, you can't go wrong. There's pictures that tell you how to do it. And you know how us guys like pictures. Here's the engine starter kit for the Shock and Awe 2.0 LED light system. So everything comes packaged just absolutely outstanding. We've got all of these different lights here. I love how everything's just separated. We got extensions, we've got Ys, we've got the controller right here. We've got the control knob, and then we'll have to be attaching these to the battery. Again, just a ton of extra stuff to help with mounting. That's even extra 3M tape pods or whatever you want to call it. Zip ties, all kinds of stuff. And again, I'm sure there's going to be pictures. There's pictures. Awesome. So they listed here in the diagram and the instructions. Again, like I said, the instructions are absolutely awesome that Ciro put out for this. It tells you which way you want to go and everything. So I've actually got the whole thing laid out the way I'm going to do it. I've got aftermarket air intake and horn on my Road Glide 3, so I'm not going to be putting the pods behind those, but I am going to utilize those pods in other places. So we've got all the other lights and everything ran. Now I'm getting ready to wire the power in. So of course the red, it's a fusible line that goes to the positive of the battery, and the black line goes to the negative of the battery. This right here is your Bluetooth controller for all the lights. It's got three out plugs. Basically what I'm doing is one plug is going to the fork mount, the other plug is going to the engine kit, and the other one's going to the back of the trike. So I've got the controller, the power button controller, coming through one of the holes here in the frame. So after I get everything else installed, I'm going to basically mount this right up under here on the kind of like the backbone of the frame. I also have the mid-frame air deflectors too. So it'll be kind of hidden in there, but I can still be able to reach my hand up in there and get this all connected up. The other thing that you need to make sure that you're doing is prepping all the areas for where that 3M tape is going to be sticking up underneath your tank or along any of the frame. areas. It just needs to be a really nice, clean surface area. So rubbing alcohol, or I can't find the rubbing alcohol, so Windex works fine as well. The other thing that we have to make sure is that we're putting the Dielectrobe grease in, which Ciro provides in the package. So yeah, works out great. They give you everything. So I've got all the lights attached to the underneath of the fuel tank and back here on the back part of the frame. So now I need to go around and start getting all these cleaned and buttoned up. Also, the strip that's going from the fork lights, I've got to run down the tank dash, get that all put underneath there as well, so everything comes back into here and everything's all nice and neat. You also need to make sure that you've got enough movement here in the wire coming from the fork mounted lights. I've got it all zip tied, coming back up into here behind where the brake lines come together. Got all that done, and the wire itself actually comes up and loops across before it comes back into the body. When you do that, you need to make sure that you move the handlebars left and right to make sure that there's no binding or anything on the wire, or there's nothing that's going to be actually pinching those wires as well. The backlighting, I've got that attached into that third spot here on the Bluetooth adapter, the Shock and Awe 2.0. This is where all the power, everything goes in, the Bluetooth adapter, all that stuff. So I've got that third line running down through here inside my framework, going back in here, and then actually there's an area where I was able to go behind the framework to come back down to actually mount the lights underneath. So whenever you're doing that on a trike, or even your touring model motorcycle, when you're running the lights for the saddlebags, is you've got to make sure that you're getting clearance for all of the suspension parts moving back and forth. So getting up under there, again, this is my first trike, so I'm kind of learning different options, but there's cross member bars, there's anti-sway bars, all kinds of stuff, so you just need to make sure you're clearing all those, which is I'm running down on the back side between the frame and the trunk, going down and just making sure I'm clearing everything as far as the suspension goes. As you see here, I've got the line coming down. It's on the outside of the slip-on muffler, and it's going to be running straight back, following that framework back there for the trunk. Need to make sure you're getting up in here, getting all these, the framework and everything all wiped down, making sure everything is clean so all this adhesive will stick down here. In this episode of Garage Floor Yoga Session, this is the pose called Roadkill. There you have it. Ciro Shock and Awe 2.0. Again, this is the Touring Master Kit. You can get all these individually as well. You can get the engine beginner kit, you can get the fork mount kit, the extended light package kit. So this will work on all the touring models. This will work on the trike models. There was questions whether or not the fork mount would work because the nut is actually welded to the inside of the fender mount. But the bolt that comes with Ciro, it actually is threaded exactly the same. So I basically went screw to screw, took that bolt out, put the one that Ciro gave you, and then put the washer, the light mount washer, and then the lock nut. It worked out just fine. You just got to make sure the bolt is tight into the fender, and then the lock nut, as you're holding the bolt, you tighten that lock nut down. Everything works great with this kit. Again, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It does take some time, so make sure you give yourself plenty of time. Great weekend project. It took me a lot longer just because of shooting the video while I was installing and stuff like that. But the directions that Ciro gives you is unbelievable. Step by step, pictures, where things should go, all of that nature. It turned out phenomenally. I think probably what took me the most time was actually buttoning up and tying up all the loose wires and making sure those get through and they're all attached and unseen. The one thing with the trikes is you got to understand that the framework goes past that rear axle, but you need to make sure that the rear axle and all the suspension and moving parts, the wire going back to the back of the trike, everything is clearing that. So, like I said, take your time, figure out what you're gonna do, it's gonna be a good day. If not a weekend, you might want to just go ahead and do the fork and the engine on one day and maybe tackle the rear end of the trike on another day. So it does take quite a bit of time. If you are putting this on a regular motorcycle where you're just putting it underneath the saddlebags and stuff, you can get that done in a day. But it's pretty easy. Again, the instructions very self-explanatory. Yeah, I'm actually loving it. The Ciro 3D app that you get that runs Bluetooth to the controller, it's got a basic, deluxe, and advanced. You can set up all different kinds of things. There's a music thing where as you're playing music, the lights will flash with the beat of the music. There's also a microphone, so if you're talking into it or you're picking up the radio that's not playing through your phone, the mic will pick up the radio and actually work as well. So you can do all kinds of stuff, constant, breathe, flash, all different kinds of things. The app is very easy to use as well. So again, thanks again for hanging out with me. This was definitely a lot of time spent on this one, but it's well worth it. I'm very, very happy with this lighting project. So as always, be safe, be blessed, give more. Peace.